Welcome to Business as a Magical Practice, where your business is the vehicle for your self-integration and soul evolution. My name is Sam Garcia, and I'm the founder of Dirty Alchemy Digital Marketing. And I'll be guiding you through how you can use your business as a spiritual practice and what magical businesses are doing to hit their goals and change the world. Together, we'll be relating the mystical to the world of business so that our work can unite spirit and matter, shadow and light, conscious and unconscious. Let's dive in. Today we're talking about seasons of your business. Even though I live on Maui, where there isn't a huge change in seasons. I'm originally from Michigan, the Midwest, where we get hot summers, colorful autumns with leaves changing, and super snowy sub-zero winters. So I know what it's like to experience all of the seasons. And I know that just like seasons, most areas of life are cyclical, including your business. There are periods of growth, awesome growth where you're hitting all your goals and kicking ass. And then there are periods of death where you have to take a step back and reevaluate what you're doing if you want to cycle back into success. There are times of celebration and times of rest. And these cycles can actually correlate to the seasons. And just to clarify, I'm not talking about business cycles aligning with the actual seasons that are happening now. You can have a summer in your business on a snowy day in January. You can have a period of rest in the dead heat of July, if that's what your business is ready for, what you're ready for. Here in this episode today, we're looking at how you can use the energy of each season to create a balanced and sustainable business model. And these seasonal cycles apply to more than just your business. Anything you're birthing with your business will have these cycles inherent in them. So your last online program will also have these periods of preparation, high sensation, and rest. So let's dive in. Spring. So spring is a time of birth, growth, new life. It's when the flowers start to bud and animals start shacking up. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you probably know that I live in a regenerative farm where we grow a ton of food. Some of it we give away, some of it we sell in farm CSA boxes. A lot of it we eat ourselves, and it's easily the best food you could get anywhere. So needless to say, farming is really important to me. Along the way, I've learned so much about the process of planting and growing and how it applies to the rest of life. Spring is a time to plant your seeds. Pretty soon after that, you begin to see sprouts start to pop out of the ground. The plants aren't anywhere near ready to harvest yet, but this is the time of preparation and planning and that you need to put in if you want to eventually get something out of the land. So, if you're in the spring phase of your business, that means you are starting to plant the seeds of your next big goal. Maybe you know you want to launch an online program, but you first have to come up with an incredible idea and then figure out exactly how you're going to implement that to change people's lives. You have to brainstorm and refine your ideas. And if you want to learn more about how to refine your ideas, listen to episode 7 of the podcast where we talk about how to distill your message. I'll link to it in the show notes. Basically, if you ever want to get anywhere in your business, you first have to take the time to birth your big idea and then figure out what you need to help that idea grow. You need really fertile soil, and that might mean something different to everyone depending on where your business is. So let's look at an example. Let's say your business is as a master coach that helps other coaches build their businesses. When your business is in its spring, it'll probably look like finding the people you want to coach, determining who your ideal avatar is, and refining that person until you know exactly who you want to work with. So spring is the time to get specific about your audience. Because if you think about it, you can plant 1,000 different seeds at the beginning of the growing season, but unless you have the time and energy to actually commit to taking care of all of those 1,000 different seeds, when they sprout, then eventually become plants and need daily care and attention, yet those seeds you planted are just going to wither away and die, and you aren't going to get anything out of them except wasting your time and money. So use the spring phase of your business to focus on specifically what your business is and who you want to work with. And then you can prepare and plan out how your big, awesome business idea is going to seduce the right people into working with you. And a part of this is marketing, right? I mean, a big part of growing your business is marketing your business the right way for your audience. So let's talk about growth for a second. A lot of people, when they think of business growth, they think of pulling in a ton of money. They think of the monetary growth that comes with having a big, successful business. But growth does not necessarily equal profit. If your business is in growth mode, then you a lot of times give up profit because it takes money. It costs money to grow. You have to pay for people on your team, more ads, more marketing, plus all that new content you're creating takes a ton of time, and time equals money in a lot of ways, in a lot of times, in a lot of examples. And that's growth. That's spending your money and your time. And alternatively, if your business is in profit mode, realize that you'll also have to stabilize your business and optimize your processes so that your expenses go down and your profit goes up. Remember that profit is total revenue minus expenses. Basic. So you really do need a balance of growth mode and profit mode in order to really maximize the money that you're pulling in and make your business as successful as possible. This means things like nurturing your audience on a customer value journey, optimizing your funnel, and preparing for your next launch far in advance. Another element to this is that when your business is growing, that means you're creating a ton of new content. This is another type of planting a seed. Content creation is a slow-moving part of the business, but it's a huge part of building your brand and your audience. But I still know business owners who have a ton of internal resistance to creating Instagram posts and other social media content because they feel it's this huge time suck, either for themselves or their team members. The copywriting, graphics, responding to comments, it's a lot of work. And organic growth does take a long time, a really long time, just like it takes a long time for that seed that you planted at the beginning of the growing season to eventually turn into food that you can harvest. You want to plant those seeds so that in the future you'll have new audience members and customers who can buy into your program. Now, let's talk about pulling in that money. This is the summer of your business. Summer is a season of big, round, juicy fruit, celebration, parties, and barbecues, the start of the harvest season. This is a time of high sensation. You know you're in a summer phase when your business feels really intense, when your campaigns go live, when you're doing your big launch and you're hitting your goals, you're pulling in new clients and a huge cash influx. This is probably also when you're working longer weeks or longer days. You're staying up late at night to make sure everything is going smoothly. Maybe you feel some anxiety about constantly checking how many new people have joined your program. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of emotion involved. And this is when you really see all of the hard work you put in during the growth period come to fruition. And if you've done a big launch before, then you know that they often go by so quickly, you kind of miss the excitement of it until it's over. Just like summer, it seems to come in a flash and then you feel nostalgic for it when it's over. Then it's time for fall. Fall is about the continuing of the harvest, when things are starting to die off, and about processing the harvest you've already reaped. So this is the season of fulfilling the work. This is after your launch, when you're running the numbers and doing the accounting. This is a time when you really want to be reflecting back on what your goals were. What happens to the seeds you planted back in the spring? Did they germinate and create an awesome product or program, or did they wither away? The excitement from the launch is dying down. It's time to shift your focus to celebrating the harvest. You want to be basking in those new customers or clients and showing them why they joined your business to begin with. If you missed episode 16 of the podcast, we talked all about how you can get your customers to actually participate in your program, fall in love with your program, and leave you ecstatic testimonials that will help you bring in new people. And that's what the autumn of your business is all about. The excitement of the launch has died down. The big cash influx has died down. And now is the time that you need to be reflecting on how you can best serve your new clients and customers. So I'll link to episode 16 in the show notes. And I recommend giving it a listen because it's going to give you so much insight into what I'm talking about here. You're processing that harvest. You're giving your customers the proper care and attention they need to stick with you through the rest of the seasons of your business. Finally, on to winter. This is, of course, the period of death, coldness, fallow land, and being stuck inside, which in a spiritual sense translates to going inward, connecting with your ancestors and your spirituality and embracing darkness itself. Part of resting and recuperating when we're talking about business often means getting back to a harmonious business-family relationship. Now is when you might want to step back and connect to your loved ones. That could mean penciling time into your schedule to go out and get a drink with a friend. It could be spending more time with your spouse or your kids. Whatever that looks like, this is actually a really important part of the work. Because if you feel like you never get a chance to recuperating from being busy with work, you might start to resent your business and give less of yourself to it. Or it might cause problems at home, which will also make you less present when you are at work. So this is a part of the cycle too. It is a fucked up perception of our society that business has to be about continual growth. And anything other than that is failure because nature is in constant flux. Constant growth is why we're way overpopulated for the capacity of our planet. It's why our landfills are overflowing with things people bought that they didn't really want or need. Stabilization is a beautiful thing. Quote unquote lifestyle businesses built around the idea that we're all people and some of us have kids and some of us have bad days and all of us are human beings trying to live in the world. These are a beautiful thing. And one other thing. Realize that a lot of online businesses that are boasting about a 7-figure or 8-figure revenue have little to no profit. They're spending as much as they're making in order to boast about the vanity metric of top-line revenue because they aren't going through these cycles. They're working nonstop, but like a hamster on a wheel, they aren't going anywhere. When it would make a lot more sense for them to take a step back and spend some time reevaluating their business and what needs to change. Here are some inquiries that can help you use the cycles of the season to make your business more effective and successful. And all of these will be in the show notes. So if you're driving, if you're doing the dishes, don't feel the need to run off and write them down. So for spring, what does business growth mean to you? How might mentally distinguishing between increased profit and increased reach/audience help you reach your goals? How do you decide which seeds to plant in your business? Do you spread yourself too thin by planting too much? Or do you ever plant seeds without fully understanding the amount of work that will come when it's time to put the work in to harvest them? Summer. How do you handle times of high sensation in your business? Do you tend to lose sleep and carry a lot of stress during launches? Do you shut down? Do you avoid? Do you go numb? If you do, it's time to examine how you can help yourself stay more in the flow. Just like your business cycles, you need to take time to rest even in the midst of big events in your business. Allow yourself to have a period of summer during each day of your launch where you get a ton of stuff done and do all the things you need to do to make your launch a success. A period of fall, even if it's only an hour of relaxing with a glass of wine in the evening, and a period of winter where you let yourself get some sleep every day, okay? Okay, on to autumn. Now is the time to reflect on everything you've learned in your business during the first 2 phases of the cycle. So, first, think about what has already happened in your business. What went well about your launch or the last goal you set and worked on? What could you have done better? How will you alter your goals and your approach for the next launch or your next goal or your next project or your next program? And then the work that still needs to be done. What steps are you taking to nurture your clients post-launch? What steps are you taking to nurture your business post-goal hitting or goal not hitting? Is there anything you could be doing better to guide and support your customers, your clients, your team through this work? Winter. Do you fear the winter in your business? Do you start panicking if you have a slow month or you actually take time off? Can you not even take time off because you're always freaking out about what's going on and you feel unworthy of actually taking rest time? Ask yourself. Now is the time to turn inward and reflect upon what you need from your business and what your business needs from you. Remember, your business has its own soul. Just like you, it will go through periods of ebbing and flowing. By thinking about your business in this way, you give it the space it needs to energetically flourish. And by connecting to the truth that our physical reality is built in cycles, our physical bodies are built in cycles, and they flow in cycles, and they succeed in cycles. How can you build this more and more into your day, more and more into your business, more and more into your life, so that it actually feels good? Have a great week.